And of course, regardless of how many hours you work at your job, no matter the benefits and wages you earn, or how many awards you receive as the best employee of the century, the sad note is that there is an expiration date to that job. Hello everyone, my name is Bimbo Adewole and welcome to my show. Let me make it very simple for you. I don't care how you feel or what you think about yourself or the government itself. Just put your butt down and let me talk to whoever is responsible for the general life of job seekers, employees, employers, and entrepreneurs around the world. Does that make sense? Anyway, what else do you expect from the job man? Come with me tonight and see if your life depends on this. And from the international scene, let's have a sober reflection on where we are as at this day. We need to. Taxes are up, inflation so high, the wages stays the same. As a matter of fact, mortgages skyrocketing, and of course, rent is not slowing down at all. The gas is astronomical, and the austerity is coming in. People say recession, most likely anytime soon. Of course, there is a puzzle in my head and quite difficult to explain except you help me out tonight. Is the world heading to another recession? Let's check the tweet out around the world. Okay, according to Bloomberg, the world should be prepared for another recession, but this time it's going to be a big show. There are three systematic keywords here: pandemic, war, and recession. Unfortunately, it's predicted to be the global recession that will be driven by energy, gas, kerosene, whatever you call it, coal, if you call it that way. If you like it, run to Bayelsa, Benue, or Lagos, where the flood has killed hundreds, and the government is gallivanting everywhere. Remember, put on your hammer because recession is almost here. And of course, in the news tonight, inflation and unemployment remain a burning issue in any economy. A reasonable government would do at a large extent which to have a low rate of inflation and unemployment. Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa and the world's sixth most populous country with a population of 206 million. Nigeria is a regional power in Africa, a middle power in international affairs, and of course an emerging global power. Nigeria's economy is the largest in Africa, the 31st largest in the world by nominal GDP, and the 26th largest by purchasing power parity, PPP. Nigeria is often referred to as the giant of Africa, owing to its large population, economy, and scamming. Since the military-led administrations have enlisted Nigeria among the worst corrupt nations in the world, in fact, it took Louis Farrakhan to criticize Mike Wallace regarding Nigeria. How can someone be talking about Nigeria as if it's not my own country? Take a look.
You go to Nigeria, which is, if not the most corrupt nation in Africa, and it is, it could be the most corrupt nation in the world, Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, now, Mr. Wallace.
It is the most corrupt nation that I have ever covered. I've been there 25 years ago, and I've been there as recently as last year.
Fine. So what? 35 years old. That's what that nation is. Now, here's America, 226 years old. You love democracy? But there in Africa, you're trying to force these people into a system of government that you just have accepted. 30 years ago, black folk got the right to vote. You're not in any moral position to tell anybody how corrupt they are. You should be quiet and let those of us who know our people go there and help them get out of that condition. But America should keep her mouth shut wherever there's a corrupt regime, as much hell as America has raised on the earth. No, I will not allow America, or you, Mr. Wallace, to condemn them as the most corrupt nation on earth when you have spilled the blood of human beings. Has Nigeria dropped an atomic bomb and killed people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Have they killed off millions of Native Americans? How dare you put yourself in that position as a moral judge? I think you should keep quiet, because with that much blood on America's hands, you have no right to speak. I will speak because I don't have that blood on my hand. Yes, there's corruption there. Yes, there's mismanagement of resources. Yes, there is abuse. There's abuse in every nation on earth, including this one. So let's not play holy to moralize on them. Let's help them.
I'm not moralizing. I'm asking a question, and I got an answer.
Why would you put it as the most corrupt regime in the world? That doesn't make sense.
Can you think of one more corrupt?
Yeah, I'm living in one. I'm living in one. Yes, you've done a hell of a thing on this earth, so you should not be the one to talk. You should be quiet when it comes to moral condemnation, in my judgment.
Just like a figment of imagination, it was believed that Nigeria would be the most leading countries in the 21st century, with the country transition to a democratic system of government in 1999. Look at these men. Just take a look at them. Look at them. Olusegun Obasanjo was formerly head of state who later became a democratic elected president and saw the need to build a corrupt-free nation, and they introduced the Economic and Financial Crime Commission and its sister agency, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, EFCC and ICPC. However, a massive corruption was carried out, as the commission was like a toothless bulldog that could not fight his masters, and the corrupt battles were targeted at some selected political heavyweights, and rumors have it that he tried to bribe his lawmakers for a third-time bid, with inflation of 5.39% and unemployment of 3.84% in his tenure. The late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua was sworn in with high hopes and expectation for his 7-point agenda manifesto, but was unable to combat corruption because he admitted that the election that brought him to power had been rigged by his political godfather, and that he was merely a stooge surrounded by cabals. Truth be told, Yar'Adua was the only president who never increased the fuel price, but rather reduced from 75 naira to 65, total debt of 19.2 billion, unemployment reached 3.7%, and of course inflation gripped 13.72% at the end of his presidency before he died, and the man that never had his shoes came in. Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan is a zoologist who understands how to manage animals but fails to manage animals in woman form, as politicians with designer shoes cash out massively in his administration, and the fight against corruption was paralyzed, such that the economy started to crumble with such borrowing. He left office with the external debt of $7.3 billion, and of course inflation was 9.1% and unemployment 4.5%. However, his personality is such that he openly considered defeat in 2015 polls in the spirit of sportsmanship, which happened to be the first in Nigerian history. President Muhammadu Buhari, Petroleum Minister, say Baba, the political messiah, and the change Nigerians needed as at that time. The man who came up with so many names just to win the 2015 polls election. Otherwise, there could have been a bloodshed, because he has been contesting for so many times and failed, according to his close political ally. Forget not, when Nigeria's accountant general laundered money worth 80 billion naira, a monkey carted away 70 million naira, and from the senators, farmers, and of course a snake swallowed 36 million. Quite a mouthful of this animal, isn't it? The man who was elected on the promise of rescuing the Chibok girls, ending Boko Haram tomorrow, with other promises such as ban on all government officials seeking medical care abroad, revival of Ajakuta steel complaint. You must remember the graduate employment scheme to employ 740,000 graduates across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, 720,000 jobs by 36 states in the Federation per annum, and of course the provision of allowances to the discharged but unemployed youth corps members for 12 months while in the skills and entrepreneurial development programs. You remember the creation of a social welfare programs for at least 5,000 naira that will cater for 25 million poorest and most vulnerable citizens, and of course the 1 meal plus fruit per day for public primary schools people, stabilization of the naira, free science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM, and education at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels. For all these promises yet to be fulfilled, he called the Nigerian youth lazy, to date, and for the first time in the history of Nigeria, the youth went on rampage with the NSAS protests, which left many people dead. When was the last time you heard about economic reforms in this administration? The total public stock debt, representing the domestic and external debt stock of the federal government of Nigeria in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, was 42.84 trillion naira as at June 30th, 2022. The country's inflation reached the highest level of 17.4% and the unemployment 33.3%. This is laughable. So come on, guys, who is the real scammer here? These guys or this guy? Good night.